Story originally chronicled by Nuala Curien, collected by seer Alexandria Curien, and expanded by Huitzili Nikali. After weeks of searching his land for his lost dog, Angus, Seamus learned about the black Barghest of the bog from the nearby town. Convinced that the dog was really his own, he asked how to find the dog. However, the townspeople refused to disclose to him where the dog lived. They feared that finding the home of the Barghest would bring him only death. One day, though, Seamus got clever, and he got the town seer drunk. Even with the seer knowing the dangers that Seamus would face, the seer's thirst exceeded her sense. After getting the seer drunk, she told him, while he wept, warning him that only death would find him where the Barghest rested. Seamus refused to listen, deciding that he would find his dog. Seamus Curien was never seen again. Even his body was never recovered from the bog. What happened instead was something much darker. Not long after Seamus's disappearance, there was now stories of a ghostly hunter deep in the forest surrounding the Curien manor. The survivors who saw the huntsman from a distance remarked that he looked like a man in his 50s, carrying either a lantern or a shotgun. Sometimes he is seen struggling to light a campfire to cook some of the birds he had killed. A traveler may find themselves near the huntsman, and if they do, they have to be polite and must avoid making him angry. Once a traveler made the mistake of refusing to help Seamus light his fire, rudely turning his back on the ghost, figuring he could simply walk away unharmed. He was found with buckshot littering his body, and it was clear to those who had found his body. It took days for him to die, and he dragged himself for many kilometers, while another set of footprints followed him, watching him slowly die of infection, and he had time to write down what happened to him, leaving his journal as the last traces of what happened. There was another incident during the Great War where hungry soldiers from Albion found Seamus with his fowl collected as he was trying to start a campfire. He asked the soldiers for assistance in lighting his fire, and he would share some of his catch with them. Instead, the soldiers tried to kill Seamus to collect his birds. Despite firing hundreds of bullets into Seamus, they barely slowed him down. They were unable to kill someone who was already dead. Only one soldier got away, and he got away by running towards the town church. There in the church, Seamus was unable to follow him. There, the soldier tried to confess his sins, hoping that would mean that Seamus would stop following him. It didn't work. Even though Seamus couldn't enter onto consecrated ground, he still followed the soldier, although no one else could see the soldier's stalker, with the exception of the soldier. So the soldier spent the rest of his days living in the church, eventually taking over as its priest, and when he died, he was buried, and his gravestone desecrated by buckshot. The locals are scared to replace the gravestone, fearing that Seamus will grow angry with them instead. If a traveler does find Seamus, he will almost certainly ask you if you have seen a dog. It is advised to always tell him no, that you haven't seen a dog, whether that is true or not. Those who have told Seamus no that they haven't seen a dog have returned from the bog and Curien's land. It is not known for sure what happens to those who told Seamus that they saw the dog. It is only known for sure that they are never seen again, neither living nor dead. The only real information we have on what happens to those that tell Seamus that they saw a dog came in 2737, when a group of college students saw Seamus approach their fire. Most of them told Seamus that they didn't see the dog. One of them, a rebellious trickster named Rex, lied and told Seamus that he saw the dog. Excited, Seamus asked Rex to guide him to where the dog was. His friends, not wanting to leave him behind, joined Rex and Seamus in looking for the dog. At first, Rex tried leading them to a nearby stream, only to find that the stream wasn't where it was supposed to be. So instead, Rex tried leading Seamus and his friends back to town, only to find more forest and more bog. After trying for a few hours, Rex tried leading back to camp, only to find that the camp was no longer there. Rex, no longer finding this funny, tried to tell Seamus that he lied and he needed to head back to town. Seamus didn't believe him. He demanded that Rex bring him to his dog. Even when Rex tried to refuse to move, Seamus would not let him rest, picking him up and dragging him along as Seamus kept looking for his dog, only stopping when Rex stood by himself and started walking with Seamus. His friends were ignored, and while they were with Rex, they were just as lost as he was. For days they wandered. The sun never rose while they wandered with Seamus, leaving them in a sunless land. A few weak stars lit the sky of a black moon that didn't change its phase, but the survivors could swear they could hear it howl far above them. They also ran across strange stone ruins they described like a grave mound built from stones. But the mounds extended far beyond the horizon, each mound large enough to hold a giant. And in the distance they could see creatures that were horsemen and horse, merged into one, beings with sharp teeth but no mouths, who had sharp blades instead of hands. Beings that Seamus didn't even glance towards as he kept pushing Rex to guide him to where his dog was. The friends could see palaces of spider silk and stained glass that even Seamus warned them to go nowhere near. They could see bottomless pits lying in hungry wait in the forest floor. They could see lakes with entire cities beneath them. And every time, Seamus refused to explain, only that he needed to find his dog. The friends, exhausted, passed out trying to keep up with Seamus and Rex. When they woke up, they found themselves near the edge of the wilds and the town, and they made it to safety. They were gone for weeks, and the town had given up on finding them by this point. Rex, on the other hand, was never seen again. Some say that he died trying to lead Seamus, unable to get away from his ghostly captor. Others say he is still leading Seamus to this very day through their tiny slice of the Sunless Lands. A lot of people think Rex is dead, and he is still leading Seamus, unable to move on to Judgment. Still, though, despite the dangers, he is considered mostly harmless if you are polite and don't tell him you know where his dog is. He isn't as helpful as the hound, but sometimes a traveler can ask him for directions, and he will point where they need to go. And sometimes, when a traveler has harsh intentions towards the Curien family, they will run across the Huntsman, and he is not forgiving. Whether it is a company of mercenaries or a lone assassin, an experienced exorcist or a mad scientist, if they enter Curien's lands with the intent of harming the Curien family, they will be found by the villagers, their heads removed from their bodies, left on their laps at the edge of where the bog meets the village. A firm warning worthy of a Dullahan. Still, as powerful a protector, the former patriarch of the Curiens is, he cannot protect his family from everything. Some threats don't travel through the woods. Some threats were already in the mansion.
And not all threats have intentions.